Good morning. It is Monday, February 3rd. Here's what we're working on. Prime Minister Justin Trudeau is set to speak with U.S. President Donald Trump today about the trade war between our two nations.
Raptors fans voiced their thoughts on Trump's tariffs before the game against the Clippers.
And we'll have a highlight of the Grammy Awards. Good morning, and a big morning welcome to you.
Mondays.
Yeah, let's take two. Take two on this. A big welcome to you, Louis Bucko, going to be in with us
Louis.
all this week.
All this week, yeah. So it wasn't too hard getting up this morning. Mondays are always the toughest, but we missed the 1st of the month, Brian. So I figured I'd give you the opportunity to maybe acknowledge the fact that.
Well, let's go with it is now 2 days past the 1th of the month. How would that be?
We'll take it.
You did get the 31th of the month in on Friday.
I got the 31th in, so yeah, we're okay. Yeah, 3rd of February already. We had Groundhog Day. Mr. Willie says, Mr. Wyerton Willie says early spring. Everybody else kind of went, nah. But anyway, we'll see what happens. But it's going to be like mild today. It's kind of almost spring-like. We could get some showers today because the temperature is going to climb to 4 degrees today. Not much of a wind, but we could get some flurry activity, light snow this morning, changing to a bit of shower activity, and then maybe even some drizzle or some freezing drizzle as the day goes on. So could be one of those touchy days as far as traction is concerned, both tires and your shoes. So be careful today. We're sitting at -2, wind chill -7 right now. Talk about the details coming up. Looking at traffic, 403 Waterdown Road. That's doing fine. Pretty light volume right now. A couple of MTO traffic cameras. Here's the QEW at Millen Road, Stony Creek towards us, Toronto-bound lanes. Same here at the top of the Burlington Skyway Bridge. Oh, we'll give you one more. Here's a look at Appleby Line. No problems right now. So weather and traffic as usual coming up in just a few minutes. Right now, the news.
Okay, thanks very much, Brian. Prime Minister Justin Trudeau is expected to speak with U.S. President Donald Trump later today as the country braces for a trade war with the United States. Simone Gavros joins us in studio now with the latest. It seems like a different world today, doesn't it, over the weekend?
Yeah, Annette, and just seeing all the events happen over the weekend itself, and now it's coming to head today. Now, Ottawa is imposing 25% tariffs on their own, $30 billion in goods from the U.S. in response to the same tariffs from the United States. Both are going into effect tomorrow, and it's expected to have devastating impacts on our economy. Now, Prime Minister Justin Trudeau is calling on Canadians to choose Canada.
It might mean checking the labels at the supermarket and picking Canadian-made products. It might mean opting for Canadian rye over Kentucky bourbon, or foregoing Florida orange juice altogether. It might mean changing your summer vacation plans to stay here in Canada and explore the many national and provincial parks, historical sites, and tourist destinations our great country has to offer.
Now, the federal government released an extensive list of the items that are subject to retaliatory tariffs less than 24 hours after Trump started this trade war. Now, this is just a snippet of items which include milk, yogurt, butter, dairy spreads. There's also melons, apricots, coffee, vanilla, and cinnamon. Now, the list also includes clothing, shoes, as well as furniture. Ottawa plans to add an additional $125 billion in tariffs on many other U.S. goods in 3 weeks after consulting with industry leaders. This comes after Trump signed an executive order on Saturday with damaging duties of 10% on energy and 25% on everything else. Many Canadians were quick to share lists and videos of Canadian-made items to help avoid buying American brands here. U.S. President Donald Trump posted on Truth Social yesterday, continuing to push his plan for Canada to become the 51st state as a way to avoid tariffs. Trump also spoke on the matter yesterday night, claiming that Canada has been, quote, abusive of the United States for many years.
They don't allow a lot of things in, and we allow everything to come in. It's been a one-way street. We subsidize Canada by the tune of about $200 billion a year. And for what? What do we get out of it? We don't get anything out of it. I love the people of Canada. I disagree with the leadership of Canada. And something's going to happen there. But if they want to play the game, I don't mind. We can play the game all they want.
Now, one website called Made in Canada, which was founded back in 2018, they're dedicated to listing Canadian items to help people shop local. Dylan Lobo saw over 150,000 people visit his website yesterday alone. We're going to be speaking to him coming up about the difference between Made in Canada and Product of Canada. Louis, back over to you.
All right, thank you, Simone. As Canada braces for the impact of U.S. tariffs, Hamilton's manufacturing sector is set to feel the pressure.
We are definitely going to be impacted here in Hamilton and be one of the more larger impacted communities across Canada due to our manufacturing, our strength in manufacturing. So when you look at the impacts to Hamilton's economy, 80% of our Hamilton manufacturers export to the U.S., with even more than that of those exports going to the United States.
Now, that was the Hamilton Chamber of Commerce CEO Greg Dunnett. He goes on to say the city could see over $1 billion in GDP loss next year due to these tariffs. Local retail and service industries are also bracing for the fallout. There are 28,000 jobs in Hamilton that rely on manufacturing, most of it steel-related, something President Trump has specified is in his crosshairs.
Alcohol has become a key weapon in the tariff fight. Ontario incumbent Premier Doug Ford says starting tomorrow, U.S. alcohol products will be pulled from LCBOs, preventing restaurants and retailers from restocking U.S. goods. BC, Quebec, Manitoba, Nova Scotia, Prince Edward Island, and Newfoundland and Labrador are also shifting to Canadian-made alcohol.
I don't buy many American products, but so I definitely won't get that anymore.
From the wine my wife likes is from Australia and South Africa, the two favorite ones. So yeah, we can do without California wine.
Whatever we got to do, we got to do. And if it means we got to suffer a little bit on the alcohol we get, so be it.
Hey, good for you, Doug. Good job, buddy.
And the LCBO says it typically stocks over 3,600 products from 35 different states, making up nearly $1 billion a year in purchases from the United States. Now, PC leader Doug Ford says Ontario is strong and prepared for a snap election, saying it's only going to provide his party with more strength and certainty amid the trade tensions. Ford believes a fresh mandate will help negotiations with Donald Trump. Opposition leaders, though, accuse Ford of calling the early election to take advantage of favorable polling ahead of the federal election. They argue he's using Trump's tariff threats as a political tool for personal gain. Ontario Liberal leader Bonnie Crombie supports Ford's decision on removing U.S. alcohol from provincial stores, but questions the rest of his plan.
All right, sports time, and the Toronto Raptors were in action yesterday, taking on Kawhi Leonard and the Clippers. And before the game, Raptors fans letting their feelings known about U.S. President Donald Trump's tariffs. Raps fans, the latest to boo during the American national anthem after Trump made his tariff threats a reality. Meanwhile, NHL fans in Ottawa and Calgary also booed during the U.S. anthem in their respective games. Meanwhile, as for the game itself,
Barrett's got 18 points. Here's Harden. Shot doesn't go. Wanted a call, won't get it. Ochai saves it to Grady. Grady! Grady Dick! 12-2 run!
Grady Dick finished with 18 points. He was one of 7 Raptors to hit double digits as they used an all-around team effort to beat the star-studded LA Clippers 115-108. Raptors have won 8 of their last 10 games, but still sit near the basement of the NBA's Eastern Conference at 16-33 on the year. They're back at it tomorrow night when they host the Knicks at Scotiabank Arena. Sticking with basketball, the NBA world still shaken over a blockbuster trade overnight Saturday, and some Dallas Mavericks fans are truly heartbroken. Fans wearing Luka Doncic's number 77 jersey gathered outside American Airlines Center yesterday to show their unhappiness with the team trading their franchise player to the LA Lakers. Now, some carried a casket while others carried signs denouncing the trade. One placard called it the worst trade in NBA history. Mavericks also sent reserves Maxi Kleber and Markieff Morris to the Lakers. In exchange, LA sent the Mavs center Anthony Davis, shooting guard Max Christie, and a first-round pick in 2029 in the deal. Checking in on the OHL, and don't look now, but one of the hottest teams in the league are the Brantford Bulldogs, thanks in part to the league's leading scorer, Nick Lardis, and much to the dismay of the Sudbury Wolves broadcasting crew.
Lardis makes it 4. Count them, 4. So how many goals is that in 47 games?
That is 48 now for Nick Lardis, 4 in the game.
Nick Lardis found the back of the net 4, yes, count them, 4 times, and now has a Canadian Hockey League best 48 goals in 47 games. Bulldogs crushed the Wolves 9-3 in Sudbury yesterday to finish a Northern Ontario sweep. Merrick Vanacker also had a pair of also had a pair of goals, while Jake O'Brien finished with 4 points for Brantford, who are 12-1 in their last 13 games. Next up for them Wednesday night back in Brantford when they host the Wolves. Elsewhere in the OHL yesterday, it was a rough afternoon from the Dogs from Niagara. North Bay's Nick Wellenreiter scored the only marker in the shootout as the Ice Dogs blew a 2-goal lead for the second day in a row. They fell 4-3 in a shootout against the Battalion.
And now, to add a name to Pebble Beach lore, Pebble Beach has a popular champion,
Rory McIlroy pulled away from the pack with a dominant 6-under-66 in the final round to capture the AT&T Pebble Beach Pro-Am. The win was the 27th on the PGA Tour for McIlroy, the 22nd most all-time. Taylor Pendrith, the top Canadian, finished in a 3-way tie for 9th. Nick Taylor finished 33rd. Dundas's Mackenzie Hughes finished in an 8-way tie for 40th at 8 under. And here you go, Annette. NASCAR is getting back. They returned to its roots with a preseason exhibition at Bowman Gray Stadium and a popular victory with Chase Elliott winning the Clash last night. NASCAR's reigning most popular driver won the Clash for the first time in his career and joined his father Bill as winner of the unofficial season opener. Bill Elliott won the Clash in 1987 and then parlayed that victory into a win in the Daytona 500 1 week later. Chase gets his chance to repeat his father's dominance. NASCAR season officially opens, and that's got on her schedule February 16th at Daytona International Speedway.
All right, 12 minutes after 6 o'clock, third morning of February now. Let's get into traffic first of all, then we'll get to our forecast. Traffic, as you can see, the 403 on Waterdown Road is a little busier now than the last time we checked it, but still it's moving okay, and that's how the major routes are going right now. So checking our MTO traffic cameras, here's the QEW and Highway 405. Not a lot to see there. Millen Road still looks good. That camera was just there. It decided to go away. Here's the Ford plant. That's not a problem as you consider the camera here at Cawthra. You see nothing has really changed. Be aware that if you're traveling the major routes, they're fine. You know, they've been worked on and everything's moving nicely. It's the secondary routes that can still be snow covered, so be very careful. Check the temperature we have at the moment. We're into the freezing mark, but not a lot. -2 is the temperature. Winds are fairly light from the south-southwest. Give us a wind chill of -6. It is cloudy. We do have some light snow flurry activity at the moment. So for school today, we're going to get some snow, light snow this morning, and then could be some rain, could be some drizzle, could be some freezing drizzle. That would be early this morning, but it's going to be a mild day. We're going to hit +4 for the day. So a low pressure system goes by us and then dissipates. So today that mixing precipitation. Tonight, skies will clear. Tomorrow, we'll start off with some sun, and then we'll gain a bit more cloud cover as the day progresses. So today, we're looking at mild temperatures above seasonal, 4 and 5 degrees for today. There's that mixing precipitation, 3 degrees for Peel into Toronto. Tonight, yeah, we go back into the minus column. -4 to 6 for Niagara, -5, 6, and 7 for the rest of the horseshoe. Halton, Peel into Toronto could get a couple of centimeters of snow tonight. And then tomorrow, tomorrow, yeah, we're into the minus column. The temperature is really going to roller coaster. -1, -2 for the day tomorrow. A little bit of flurry activity is possible, and we could see a bit of sun, which would be nice. We'd like to see that. As far as the long-range forecast is concerned, of course, we'll check that, and another traffic check coming up. Annette, Louis.
Okay, thanks very much. Okay, coming up after the break, we're going to take a look at how markets around the world are responding following Donald Trump's tariff announcement against Canada and Mexico. At 6:17, following Donald Trump's tariff announcement, our dollar hit a 20-year low over the weekend, and it's down another 76 basis points this morning, just over 68 cents U.S. Gold is down $5.10 an ounce, and crude is up $1.39 to $73.92 a barrel. Now, concerns over international trade are affecting everything from equities to commodities. In Europe this morning, prices are down triple digits in London, Frankfurt, and Paris.
In Asia, markets lost more than 1,000 points in Tokyo today. Hong Kong saw slight losses, and markets in Shanghai were closed for the Chinese New Year holiday. In North America, the TSX lost 275 points on Friday. The Dow dropped over 300, and the Nasdaq closed 54 points lower. Nasdaq futures have dropped nearly 2% in pre-market trading this morning, and S&P 500 futures fell 1.4%.
Well, Hamilton's waterfront businesses should be able to weather the tariff storm. The president and CEO of Hamilton Oshawa Port Authority says despite a cloud of uncertainty, he believes that they're doing the right things to maximize resiliency. For example, Ian Hamilton says most grain exports going through Hopa ports are heading for markets in Europe. The infrastructure is in place for trade with a range of global partners. He adds the port's new inland rail terminal makes distributing goods from Canada's coastal ports more efficient. Agri-foods like sugar accounted for 31% of total cargo volume at Hopa last year. Steel-making commodities, still a big staple in the cargo mix, making up 47.5% of total cargo. In 2024, Hopa handled nearly a third of all of the cargo that went through the Great Lakes St. Lawrence Seaway system.
Trump's latest tariffs may push Canada into a recession. That's according to a new report from BMO. The bank projects that a 25% tariff on non-energy imports and a 10% tariff on energy could reduce GDP growth by 2 points, possibly bringing it close to zero this year. The report also highlights the impact on supply chains, higher prices due to retaliatory measures, and a weaker Canadian dollar. BMO expects the Bank of Canada to respond by cutting interest rates more aggressively to mitigate the economic impact.
And cryptocurrency prices are down this morning, with Bitcoin at a 3-week low. This is as the specter of a global trade war puts investors on edge and kind of pushes them away from risky assets. So Bitcoin right now sits at $94,000 US. Now, Canada and Mexico, the top two American trading partners, immediately vowed retaliatory measures, and China says it's going to challenge Trump's levies at the World Trade Organization. Cryptocurrencies trade around the clock, and they've been really sensitive to broader market sentiment. Investors are concerned that tariffs could hurt economic growth, company earnings, and could also drive inflation.
Tim Hortons is bringing its famed Roll Up to Win contest back to its roots. Now, I'm confused because they've changed it. The coffee chain says this year's promotion will feature the return of hot beverage cups that can be physically rolled up. Alongside the digital game that's been in use for the past 5 years, the shift to a completely digital format in 2020 was made to reduce handling of cups during the COVID-19 pandemic. Since then, customers have told the company they miss being able to roll up their rims when the promotion is running. Now, although the rollable cups will only be available for a limited time during this year's contest, from February 24th to March 23rd, Tim Hortons is open to bringing them back in future promotions. Don't you miss that?
I do.
Don't you miss the? Yeah, I can't believe it's been 5 years since we haven't been able to roll up the rims.
Yeah, and I remember during COVID thinking, okay, how gross is it that you're drinking something and then you're handing it to a staff member across the counter, and they've got to deal with
So
that.
I read there's going to be no physical trading. There's going to be a little bucket, a box or something.
A little box or a bucket that you put it in.
Cheers to that.
Okay, we can't roll up our new coffee cups.
Oh, they're nice though. All right, coming up, Brian will be back with your traffic and 7-day forecast.
Monday again, 6:24, 3rd of February. Let's get right into traffic. 406 and the QEW in St. Catharines is light volume. You can see the shine on the highways. Be real careful. Top of the Burlington Skyway Bridge, we are already grinding down really slow as you head toward Burlington. Appleby line, Burlington, looks good. Oakville, Sheridan, or Mississauga anyhow. And the 403 east of Mississauga Road is doing fine so far this morning. All right, let's get to our temperatures. But first of all, the picture that I have here this morning, that was taken yesterday morning just before sunrise at Spencer Smith Park by Annette Hom. You were up bright and early yesterday morning.
Yes.
Look at that beautiful shot.
Beautiful.
Lovely sunrises over Spencer Smith Park against the lake there. Cold? Yeah, definitely cold. It was yesterday morning. This morning, not too bad actually. -2 Hamilton and Toronto, wind chill about -7, -1 Grimsby, -3 for Mississauga. So today, those are our seasonal temperatures, our sun times. 7:33 it comes up now, getting earlier every day. And those are our records for today. And today we could get some mixing precipitation. A little bit of mixing, some light snow, some freezing drizzle is even possible, some drizzle, and then some showers. And we go to +4 for after school today. So that's the high, +4. -7 tonight, wind chill -11. Tomorrow -2, wind chill -12. The winds pick up a little bit, but a little bit of sunshine. And then -3 Wednesday, but 9. That's +9 on Wednesday. We get a real mild push of air on Wednesday. It'll be on Thursday, that is. It'll be windy. And then we get some sunshine and clouds for the weekend. It's your forecast, Annette Louis.
All right, thank you, Brian. Canada's most famous hedgehogs don't agree on what lies ahead for spring this year.
It's groundhogs.
Groundhogs.
It would be awesome if it were Hedgehog Days because they're chocolate. In Ontario, Wyerton Willie did not see his shadow yesterday, predicting an early spring. But in Nova Scotia, Shubenacadie Sam and Quebec's Fred Lamarmont did, forecasting more winter. In Pennsylvania, Puxatawny Phil saw his shadow, calling for 6 more weeks of winter. Legend has it, if a groundhog sees its shadow, winter weather will linger. And if not, more spring-like conditions are just around the corner. Groundhog Day is a tradition that stretches back more than a century. And I feel like the groundhogs didn't get all the attention they deserved yesterday in Canada, maybe because of all the tariff talk. It was like, at the end of the day yesterday, I was like, oh yeah, it was Groundhog Day today.
I didn't forget it because I was watching the Groundhog movie, the Groundhog Day, because it was on all day on AMC.
I love it.
Yeah, Groundhog, not a hedgehog. I don't even know where that came from. I wish I could blame the script, but no, that was me. That was my fault. All right, stay with us. We got more to come after the break.
I got